So the other day, I was out finding some gold in a creek in an area that had just been turned over after having a whole stack of gorse removed in a state forest near Daylesford. And I saw these two guys, and then I recorded a rant. Oh, what I wouldn't wish for a rifle right now. Look at that. Two goats there. There's a lot of talk about turning this forest into a national park, which doesn't have to mean that hunting is illegal, but because you can have national parks where you're allowed to hunt. They're two things that are not mutually exclusive. But what they're not talking about doing that though. What they're talking about doing is banning hunting, banning a whole stack of stuff. Like for example, they're banning dispersed camping. So I wouldn't be able to come down here and say set up a camp, over there, and spend some time with just me, the kids, family, maybe a couple of friends coming along, and just camp peace and quiet in this, well, what is turning back into a beautiful landscape now that it's now that the cover's regrowing over where it got trashed from the all the gorse removal, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. But yeah, dispersed camping is going to be illegal. Prospecting is going to be illegal. Hunting going to be illegal. Now this is a classic example where the environmental movement shoots itself in the foot. Like, what is the environmental impact of hunting? What is the environmental impact of prospecting? There are environmental impacts, but especially in the case of hunting, but also prospecting, there are environmental benefits. Now, I'm not saying, in fact, I am saying, if I'd had a rifle, I probably would have missed because I'm not a good shot, which is why I don't have a rifle. I've never been into guns. I think I've fired a rifle 3 times at a range. I used to bow hunt, not goats, rabbits on the farm. But most of the rabbits I got actually were rabbits I chased into my snares, not rabbits I actually, shot. But we used to do that for food because back in the 80s, money was tight. And money's not exactly flush now. So if I had a rifle, if I was a good shot, I'd try and take one of those goats out, take it home and eat it. But also there's the benefit of them not being here in the forest, eating the native vegetation. And I'm not saying that hunting is a solution to feral animals, because obviously it's not, but it does have a positive impact. It does reduce their numbers. And while every community has bad apples, like there are hunters that will come out and they haven't seen a deer, they haven't seen a pig, they haven't seen a goat, they get frustrated, oh, there's a kangaroo, and they shoot it. It'd be stupid to say that doesn't happen because I know it happens. I've come across the kangaroos that have been shot and then left. But the people who do that are a rare, rare minority. Most hunters enjoy getting out amongst the forest. They enjoy spending time here in places like this. Which is the same reason us prospectors like being here, largely. Like finding the gold is cool, but really, seriously, what I've dug up there so far, I'll be lucky if it's $2. But geez, it's a good endorphin hit when you see it in the pan. And it's spending the time outdoors, in the forest, enjoying, listen to I'm not sure if you guys can hear the birds in the background. But one of the biggest reasons I love prospecting is the mental health. And if we're going to get kicked out of the forest, there's going to be a lot of people that are pissed. And there's going to be a lot of people who really care about the forest who are going to lose their connection with the forest. And they're not going to be able to pass that connection on to their kids because the connection will have been sundered. And I really truly believe the environmental movement behind this push is made a big miscalculation. And if they win, if they do get this converted to national park, if they do get a whole stack of people locked out, it's going to be worse than a Pyrrhic victory. Worse. Because a Pyrrhic victory is a victory that is won at a gross expense. But this will be a victory that will actually sabotage the future of the environmental movement. because a whole stack of people, as they start getting turned away from the forest, doing things that they thought would be cool in a national park to do. And that's why a lot of people are supporting the idea, because they think it's a good idea, because they don't know that they're going to get locked out. And that is going to come home to roost. I know people who support the idea saying, oh yes, but there'll be all these economic growth and benefits from all the extra jobs from the tourism, eco-tourism industry and so on. Well, how? Why? Like, what is it about the activities of hunters that's preventing that economic growth now? What is it about the activities of prospectors that's preventing that growth? What is it about the activities of people camping in areas like this, away from everyone else? What is it about that is stopping that economic growth? Nothing. Nothing. So all this proposal is going to do is reduce the economic activity associated with the recreational use of the forest from people spending time in it. It's just dumb. Like, any way you look at it. I don't know who's advising the government about this debacle, but it's just crazy. So I'm wishing that dinner hadn't got away. That started me on a rant. Anyway, I gotta get back to this hole. I gotta dig some gold. And I'm not probably going to put this on my prospecting channel. I'm going to put it on my main channel. So if you want to see the video from the prospecting, pop over there. Yeah, but anyway, I'm almost out of time. I'm going to quickly find me some more gold, and then, yeah, get on and get going. I got some champagne to pick up. Right, well, I did go on and I found some really good gold, which if you want to check out, head over to Mad Scientist Prospecting to have a look at that. But I just wanted to wrap up with a couple of things that I didn't cover in that sort of, off-the-cuff rant. This policy shift that we're currently seeing may have come about because the Labor Party was worried about the Green vote and thought they'd support this idea to sort of pander to Green voters. With the stunning victory of the Labor Party in the last state election, and the decimation, or not so much, but more annihilation of the Greens party in the state, it's possible that they don't feel the need to do that anymore. So if you get in touch with your local representatives, let them know that you don't like this idea and how it would affect you negatively, how it would affect your family, then there's a really good chance that we can get this policy direction completely changed. And that's important, because unless it does change, it's going to happen. The Central West investigation about turning a whole bunch of state forests to the west of Melbourne into national parks has concluded. Submissions had to be in by last Monday, but you can still let your representative know, because it's really the representatives, it's the MPs and the cabinet that are going to make this decision, not some advisory body. And if they think that there's no votes in it, and that there could be a lot of losses of votes in such a proposal, then they'll drop it. But that's only going to happen if people make their voices heard, because at the moment this idea has a lot of widespread support. Personally, I believe it has a lot of widespread support because people think, oh, national park, that'll be great for the environment. They don't actually look at the proposal and see, oh, hang on, you mean I won't be able to go camping at my spot where I've been camping for the last 10 years, and I won't be able to ride my horse, and I won't be able to ride my bike, and all these other things that I do because I like being in the forest and caring about the forest. You're saying that I won't be able to continue doing those if this policy... Yeah, that's what we're saying, and most people don't realise that. And the thing that gets me is that I don't see the environmental good in this policy. Like let's leave aside the fact that it's going to really affect a lot of people and a lot of communities in a negative way, because sometimes you have to do that for the good environment. Sometimes you'd just have to. But I can't see the environmental good here. I really, really, really can't. In fact, what I see is a whole stack of negatives. For example, dispersed camping is banned, but they're going to allow concentrated camping at a number of designated sites. Now, in terms of environmental impact, dispersed camping has a much lower impact than concentrated camping. So the policy is actually going to institute a negative effect on the forest. It's going to enshrine a negative practice and ban
at best a neutral practice. That doesn't make sense to me. Things like hunting, okay? Hunting is not a solution. Well, no, I won't go there. But anyway, last point. This area where I was filming this was recently turned over by a weed eradication program, removing a whole stack of gorse that had probably been there for about 20 years. 2 to 3 meters tall, dense gorse, and now it's been taken back down. That was done in October, and you can see how bare it was then, and then you can see from the footage I shot just the other day how much, a little bit of sunlight, a little bit of rain, and the area has regrown. Particularly all that bracken has come back up, which is going to be great because that's going to inhibit the growth of the gorse seed bank from sprouting and germinating. It's going to be shaded out by that thick cover of bracken, which is brilliant. That's, you know, perfect textbook, you know, solution there. But this area was trashed by heavy machinery, and it's well on its way to recovery. What's the environmental impact of a bunch of people going in there with metal detectors and every, I don't know, 30, 50 meters digging a small hole and then filling it in again? What's the environmental impact of doing what I did, which was digging a hole in the creek, in the gravels, which are going to get turned over and redistributed the next time it rains, which, as it turned out, was just yesterday when we had that you know, big 150 mils dump of rain. Any impact or that I had has been completely erased by that fall of rain. So what's the environmental good that's being achieved by this proposal? And I just don't see it. I think it's much more, it's about a philosophical clash. It's about a group of extreme green groups, and let's call them extreme, because they've got proposing some pretty extreme ideas, that don't like the idea of what these other people do. And they think that banning all these activities is going to make a difference. And it's just not. In fact, it's going to make things worse, because a whole bunch of the people that they're going to ban are people that care about the environment, who care about the forest, enjoy spending time in it, and therefore want to look after it. Now, you remove all those people from the forest, you're going to have less people using the forest, less people there taking care of it, and that's going to mean more people in there abusing the forest because there'll be no one there to see them doing the wrong thing. That's going to mean more rubbish dumping, more illegal tree felling, more wildlife shot, because let's go, you know, there are people who go out and shoot kangaroos and wombats and so on. Right now, that happens. But do you think they're going to stop doing that because you ban hunting? No. They're going to keep doing it. Because that's the kind of people they are. They're rule breakers. They don't care. It's only going to be the good people that obey these policies. Only going to be the people who follow the rules. Only going to be the people who care who follow the rules. Everyone else, like that small, tiny fraction of people who are just, you know, twits, they're not going to care about a national park, so they're going to go straight past it and keep doing the wrong thing. And there's going to be more of them because there's going to be less good people in there to see them do it. So, thanks for watching to this point. See you guys later. But remember, get in touch with your MPs, because if you enjoy spending time in the forest, it's going to be a lot harder for you to do that, and there's going to be a lot less things you're going to be allowed to do if these policies go through. Catch you on.